Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Little did she know that her wish would be granted in the most magical way possible. Maya was an ordinary girl who lived in an ordinary house on an ordinary street. But Maya wasn't ordinary at all. She had a heart filled with magic. Whenever she looked up at the stars, she wished upon them. Every night before bed, she would gaze out of her window, watching the twinkling lights dance across the night sky. Each star seemed to whisper secrets only she could hear, beckoning her to dream big and believe in the impossible. And tonight was no different. As Maya snuggled deeper into her blankets, she whispered her nightly wish to the stars. Tonight, her wish was a grand adventure. She longed to escape her everyday life and explore a world where magic was real and anything was possible. Little did she know that her wish would be granted in the most magical way possible. A shooting star streaked across the night sky, leaving a shimmering trail in its wake. It felt as if the very heavens were applauding her wish. As the star faded from view, a gentle breeze seemed to brush against Maya's face, carrying with it the scent of pine needles and damp earth. The room began to glow with a soft, ethereal light, and Maya's eyes widened in amazement as she watched her bedroom walls shimmer and fade, revealing not her familiar floral wallpaper, but a thick, leafy undergrowth. Stepping out of her bed, Maya found herself in a place that seemed straight out of her wildest dreams. She stood at the edge of a forest that seemed to stretch on forever, its trees a kaleidoscope of colors in the soft evening light. The air was alive with the music of nature, bird song, and the gentle rustling of leaves. A small path beckoned, inviting her to explore. With a deep breath, Maya stepped onto the path, her bare feet sinking into the soft earth. She walked deeper into the woods, the canopy above her head forming a natural archway. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, painting the ground in patches of light and shadow. As she walked, she noticed strange and wonderful things. Mushrooms in every color imaginable dotted the forest floor. Tiny flowers with petals like stained glass windows adorned the trees, and butterflies with wings like rainbows flitted among them. The further she ventured, the more enchanted the forest became. Then suddenly, a tiny figure emerged from behind a tree. Startled, Maya gasped, and the little creature froze, its ears twitching. It was unlike any animal Maya had ever seen, with fur as white as snow, whiskers like spun sugar, and eyes that shone like polished emeralds. It looked at her curiously. Sensing Maya's wonder, the creature tilted its head and let out a soft chirp, as if inviting her to follow. With a mixture of caution and excitement, Maya reached out a hand towards the curious creature. Its fur was as soft as down, and it nuzzled her fingers, letting out a happy chirp. And so their journey together began. Through the talking trees, they went deeper into the mystical woods. The little creature led the way, darting between the trees and over fallen logs. All around them, the forest seemed to hum with unseen energy. After what felt like hours, they came to a clearing. In the center stood a magnificent oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like welcoming arms. At its base sat a tiny cottage made of moss and twigs. Smoke curled from its chimney, promising warmth and comfort. Beside the cottage, a bubbling stream gurgled merrily, its water sparkling in the sunlight. The little creature chirped again, this time excitedly, and scampered up the oak tree. It disappeared through a hole in the trunk, and Maya's curiosity got the better of her. She walked towards the cottage, each step taking her deeper into the magical forest. As she approached, the door opened and the little creature peeked out. It beckoned to her with a tilt of its head, and Maya smiled, understanding its invitation. Stepping inside, she found a cozy kitchen filled with all sorts of magical things. Broomsticks leaned against the walls, cauldrons bubbled merrily on the hearth, and shelves were filled with jars containing all sorts of strange ingredients. In the corner, a friendly-looking witch stirred a potion, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "Ah, you must be here for the Star Festival," the witch said with a warm smile. "I've been expecting you." Before Maya could respond, the little creature, which she learned was called a woodsprite, scurried over to a table and began arranging a feast fit for a queen. There were dishes piled high with sparkling fruits and vegetables, cakes with frosting that shimmered like moonlight, and goblets filled with bubbling potions that tasted like fizzy lemonade. As Maya sat down to the table, the wood sprite poured her a cup of shimmering liquid. "To the Star Festival," the wood sprite chirped. "To the Star Festival," Maya echoed, raising her cup. After the feast, the witch, whose name was Hazel, explained to Maya that the Star Festival was a celebration of the bond between the magical creatures of the forest and the stars above. Every year on the night of the new moon, they gathered to honor the celestial bodies that guided and protected them. But this year, there was a problem. The North Star, which guided lost travelers and symbolized hope, had gone missing. Without it, the forest creatures feared they might lose their way and never find their way home. "We need your help," Hazel said, turning to Maya. "You are the star seeker. You must help us find the lost star." Overwhelmed by the responsibility, but determined to help, Maya nodded. Hazel handed her a staff that shimmered with starlight. "This will guide you," she said. Waving her magic wand, Hazel created a cloak for Maya, woven from moonlight and stardust. It shimmered with every color imaginable and flowed around her like liquid silver. And finally, Hazel gave Maya a small vial filled with sparkling blue liquid. "This is star essence," she explained. "It will help you on your quest." With her mission clear, Maya set off into the forest, the cloak billowing behind her like a starry wave. She walked for what felt like hours, following the path lit by her staff. The forest grew darker and the trees seemed to close in around her. Just when she began to feel afraid, the trees parted, and she found herself in another clearing. In front of her lay a sparkling lake surrounded by tall, mysterious mountains. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the valley, and a terrible-looking beast emerged from behind a rock. Its eyes glowed red, its teeth were sharp as knives, and its claws scraped against the stones. Fear threatened to overwhelm Maya, but she remembered her quest. Taking a deep breath, she raised her staff, and the cloak fluttered around her like 1,000 stars. The beast snarled, its eyes fixed on her. With a flick of her wrist, Maya sprinkled some star essence on the ground. It glowed brightly, momentarily blinding the monster. In that moment of distraction, she ran towards the lake. As she reached the water's edge, she saw a small boat waiting. With a gentle push from the wind, it glided into the lake. Stepping inside, Maya found a pair of oars that shimmered with starlight. With each stroke, the boat moved swiftly across the lake, taking her closer to the mountains. Reaching the shore, Maya climbed out of the boat and started up the mountain. The path was steep and rocky, but she pressed on, driven by her determination to find the North Star. Finally, she reached the top and gasped. Before her lay a breathtaking sight. The North Star, looking like a tiny diamond, rested on a bed of clouds, but how to reach it? Suddenly, a gust of wind tugged at her cloak, and Maya realized what she had to do. Taking off her cloak, she tied it around her staff, creating a makeshift parachute. Holding on tight, she jumped off the mountain, plummeting towards the star. The wind rushed through her hair as she sailed through the air. She spread her arms wide, feeling free and exhilarated. As she approached the star, it seemed to grow brighter and brighter until it enveloped her in a warm, golden light. And then everything went quiet. The noise of the waterfall, the chirping of the birds, even the rustle of the leaves seemed to fade away, leaving Maya in a world of silence. The once vibrant colors of the forest appeared dull and lifeless, as if someone had drained them of their beauty. The trees, once strong and majestic, now stood bare and skeletal against the gray sky. Even the friendly faces of the forest creatures seemed distant and unfamiliar. In this monochrome world, Maya felt a profound sadness that threatened to consume her. The joy and wonder that had filled her heart were replaced by a heavy emptiness. The forest, once her sanctuary, now felt like a prison, trapping her in a never-ending winter. Hope seemed to dwindle with each passing moment, leaving Maya on the brink of despair. As the shadows grew longer and the cold deepened, Maya realized that something was terribly wrong. The magic that had brought her to this wondrous place was now absent, leaving her stranded in a world devoid of color and warmth.